Tuesday night, and we are live once again in the Zone Racing, bringing you live coverage of the first round of playoffs for the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series tonight. The County Road Custom Iowa Speedway 75. I'm Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the broadcast booth. And Bill, not only do we have 8 drivers going for the playoffs, we've got 43 drivers in the server going for just 30 spots in tonight's field. It is going to be tough just to make this one, let alone have to race 8 other guys with 2 of you going home for next week's race at South Boston.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in this situation, Jeff. It is going to be very, very difficult. Now, we did tell these guys that if they are in the playoff spots, they do have a provisional waiting for them if they don't make it in qualifying. So we could start more than 30 cars. But still, I mean, starting in 32nd, right, in this field, this great, field of drivers that we have in the Late Model Challenger Series, and then having to come forward. We saw Eric Tracy try to do that last night, and he just ran out of time. It's going to be really tough for these guys running these playoff spots.
Well, a big development for those drivers in the playoff spots. Dave Corson going to find himself a penalty after last week's race. He's going to have to start at the rear of the field, and he's going to get a 5-point penalty to start the night. And that's a killer, because that's 5 positions on the racetrack. And if this is anything like last night's race, we saw top 6 running in the top 6 last night. So that would be nearly impossible to make up.
Yeah, last week, unfortunately, Dave had some things go on during the race and battled with his teammates with some frustrations that came out during the race and things that admins here and race control didn't take kindly to. So he has received a penalty for this week. So he's behind the 8 ball right now in the shot for next week, I guess, the chance to move forward. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty wild. Last night was fun, and like you said, all the playoff guys ran up front, and I think we're probably going to see a lot of the same tonight. I mean, there's a reason these guys are in the playoffs, and they're fast, and so that's where you're going to see them probably running up front tonight.
Well, a couple of those playoff drivers, Blaze Brinkley, Bo Ledbetter, they were 2nd and 3rd fastest in practice. Matt Barkhouse, not one of those playoff guys. He's going to try to play spoiler tonight. He was fastest in practice. And Bill, practice is over, so we're heading into qualifying now. 43 drivers with us. They are going for those 38 spots. It is going to be a hectic qualifying session as lap time is going to start to hit the board. Remember, if you guys are hanging with us on Facebook, make sure you like and share the stream. I see Crystal already here with us, cheering for Donald Clark, I'm sure. Looks like Eric's here cheering for Bo Ledbetter. Bo Ledbetter going to go for that championship, one of those 8 drivers. Tim Tripler here as well, and he's asking for somebody to just enable his chat.
I think he's in the server. He's actually racing in the race, so he's got issues with his chat in the race.
Race Control went ahead and took care of that, Tim. Thanks for checking in on the stream. Make sure you like and share the stream for us as well before you go back to qualifying here.
So we have tons of cars rolling out on the racetrack, trying to give you a shot of as many as we possibly can as they start to log times.
The Bo Ledbetter fan group is here. Matt with us. Lee also cheering for Bo. So he has brought the crowd tonight. They are here cheering him on. Ryan Dunkelberger to the top of the board early on, 23.624. About on pace with his practice speed. So that was a good lap. Felix Gratton currently sitting 2nd.
Chance Sapp had a nice lap in the 4 car. He's going to go P4. Dunkelberger P1. Gratton P2. Jean-Philippe Bergeron P3. Rick Rube up to the 4th spot. The Ravishing One puts down a lap.
Ian Martin to 3rd fastest. One of those playoff drivers, 23.676. P3 for the 98 so far. And he gets bumped by another playoff driver, Aaron Johnson, 23.669 for Aaron Johnson in the 21. He's going to bump Ian Martin back to 4th. Now Jackson Lewis to 4th, 23.649 for Jackson.
We saw Jackson Lewis for the first time last week at Richmond. This will be his 2nd race with the series, so he has a really nice qualifying effort. Your points leader, Blaze Brinkley, goes P2 in the 11 car.
And he is still on a flyer as well, coming for his 2nd lap. Let's see if it improves at all. And it's going to be a little bit slower, so he's going to be P2. Dunkelberger fastest still so far.
Noah Allison jumping up to P4 in the 24 machine. Grayson Ward, P8 in the 9. Probably not what Grayson's looking for. He's going to look like he's going to come around for a 2nd lap.
And new quick time, Bo Ledbetter to the top of the board, 23.619 for the driver of the 78. Fastest now in this qualifying session.
Did you talk about his fan club coming out tonight?
Yeah, we just talked about it. They are all in the chat right now. Corey Bigley as well, with cheering for Revelry and the SPM drivers.
Looks like maybe Bo Ledbetter, with all these people in our chat, maybe getting very excited and going even faster. That was fantastic out of the 78 car, and that's going to be your quick time award. So your Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes quick time award going to go to Bo Ledbetter, and we're going to move into the first of our B mains, Jeff. I think it's possible that we're going to get 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 B mains scheduled for tonight. We're going to take 4 cars from each of these B mains. And those 4 cars moving on to our feature event. We'll start 30 unless provisionals are needed for our playoff drivers. But so far, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think all of our playoff drivers might have qualified directly in. On the front row for this B main number 1 in the 17 car, that is AJ Rogers. On the outside of him in the 24, that is Ronald Cole.
Starting in the 3rd position in the number 3, that is Latham Joyner. And to his outside in the 51, that's Casey Wiggins.
Starting 5th in this B main on outside a transfer position, the familiar 212, that is Jonathan Sanford. On the outside of him in the number 1 car, it'll be Caleb W. Hill.
Starting in the 7th position in the 15, that's Matthew Barkhouse. And to his outside in the 56 Stinger Motorsports car, that's Josh Ingram.
And rounding out this B main field, the 11 cars that will take part in it, the 47 of Tim Tripler.
It's actually the 17 of Tim Tripler, Jeff. He said is the 47 because of number issues and how many different guys run the same number. So you can see there are 2 number 17s in this race. It's 47 in the program, 17 on the car.
So Tim he made the race last week at Richmond. He was pretty excited about it, and now he's gonna find himself in a tough position here, starting dead last on this B main.
He's got work to do. 18 laps to do it here in this B main event, the first B main event of the evening. There will be 2. So we have, we'll call them monstrous. Is that a good word for the size of the fields that we have here in the Late Model Challenger Series?
It is absolutely monstrous. I mean, we are averaging over 40 drivers that race, and Bill, we're what, 3 races to go in the season. I mean, it's unheard of to see that many drivers running consistently every single week in a online racing series. But we're doing it here at ITZR. It's just the support that we've gotten from our drivers, from our fans that watch on Facebook and YouTube, and it has been fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. And we're getting set to go racing here. The County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series B main number 1. Looking for 4 drivers from this one. AJ Rogers, Ronald Cole, Latham Joyner, and Casey Wiggins going to start in those transfer positions. And you got a whole host of guys trying to take them away from them.
So I almost thought Ronald Cole was running a completely gray car. Not the case. He's running maybe the sneakiest looking paint scheme ever. That car is gray, but actually has numbers and flames and all on it. I had to take a closer look.
Yeah, kind of a dark looking number there, a dark black number on a gray car. Kind of hard to read, but if you see a gray car out there, that is the 24 of Ronald Cole.
Hey, not much different than the Tarleton Sprint car from back in the day, right, Jeff? That one that had the flat black with the it was really hard to see the number, but it looked really cool close up.
Yeah. Chris DeWeese hanging out with us. Brooklyn here cheering for Peyton Howell. So here we go. Pace car going to head off the racetrack. AJ Rogers going to take us green flag racing for this B main number 1. 4 spots on the line for the feature event tonight. AJ gets to control this start. He'll have Ronald Cole on the outside of him. Green flag is out. AJ is off and away, and he got a killer start. He is going to be out by 4, 5, 6 car lengths at the start-finish line.
AJ Rogers shot out of a cannon behind them. Here comes Latham Joyner up the inside. He's going to go by Ronald Cole. Ronald Cole up the hill. We'll have 3 wide off the corner.
That's Casey Wiggins up the middle. Here comes Barkhouse in the 15. Matt Barkhouse trying to move forward. He started deep in this B main. He is already up into the 5th position. He needs 1 more spot. Trouble for Tripler. He's sideways down the front straightaway. Gets that 17 car gathered up and will continue on.
The Tripler already made up 2 spots as he's gone by Josh Ingram and Caleb Hill. Now Josh Ingram going to sling down off the banking Almost. It gets the wall down the back straightaway.
Tight battle going on in that third and fourth position. Jonathan Sanford has the fourth spot currently. Here comes Barkhouse in the 15 up the inside. Wiggins able to clear the 2-1-2. Now it is a battle for fourth. Sanford has that outside that seems to be preferred as the race moves on, but early on with tires, Matt Barkhouse making it work on the inside. They try to use the track position here to edge forward ahead of the 2-1-2. Remember, this is for the final transfer spot right here for fourth.
Side by side down into turn number 1, Sanford on the outside. Barkhouse walks him up the track just a little bit, but here comes Sanford back to the right rear quarter panel. They're going to come down the back straightaway. Dead heat right now for fourth place.
And the longer this race goes on, green flag racing, the better that outside groove is going to get. Barkhouse, if he's going to do it, he's got to do it now. You're going to see that car slide off turn 4. Now here comes the 2-1-2 battling back on the outside, and Bill, this is about the time where the good on the tires is sort of worn off. So now you're going to start seeing the right front start pushing. You're going to start sliding that right rear tire, and the car's just going to become more and more of a handful if you keep line.
To the top, Barkhouse worked the bottom 2 lines here at Iowa. Good racing here in this first B main, and this is for the transfer spot right behind them. You're looking at Ronald Cole in that gray number 24. We talked about him early in the lineup, and he's looking to see who he should follow to try to make his way forward.
Barkhouse just cannot quite clear the 2-1-2. Every time he comes up off the corner, that right rear just slides just slightly and loses that momentum coming off the corner, and the 2-1-2 able to pull ahead, inches ahead at the line, and he's going to hold on to fourth that time by. And AJ Rogers still out to a lead, but Latham Joyner is chasing him down. And we're going to keep watching this transfer spot as Barkhouse finally clears Jonathan Sanford.
Sanford out of the A main at the moment. Barkhouse up to fourth. Ronald Cole fell back just a little bit in the 24. Here comes Tripler in the 17. All digging hard. You can see how sideways they get. Now Caleb Hill is going to be sideways and slide off of turn 4. No yellow because there's no cars around him. So Hill's going to have to try to make his way back onto the racetrack and hope for a yellow to come out.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Hill. He's going to be well behind the field now and not going to get that yellow that he desperately needs there. So now he's going to hope for somebody else to make a mistake, maybe bring out a caution. But we are still green flag racing. Barkhouse sideways that time by off turn 4. Can Sanford start to close the gap here, put the pressure back on the 15?
Up front, Latham Joyner running a comfortable second, kind of closing a little bit on AJ Rogers. Right behind them, Casey Wiggins looking on it. You talked about Barkhouse as he's holding down that 4th position, but Sanford trying to get back up there and challenge that 15 car. That's your transfer spot. Barkhouse trying to make it into the A main.
AJ Rogers still your race leader. Latham Joyner, Casey Wiggins, Matt Barkhouse your transfer positions. Jonathan Sanford on the outside looking in. Behind him, Ronald Cole. Tim Tripler in the 17 behind him. Then it's a ways back to Joshua Ingram, who's about half a track behind these guys. He had some trouble in that 56, and he's well ahead of Caleb Hill, who trails this field here in the B main, working lap number 11 now.
Field kind of strung out down the back straightaway. They're all kind of in a line. Everybody about the same distance behind each other. Nobody really able to challenge at the moment. Jonathan Sanford starting to close the gap just a little bit on that 15, but not really able to mount the challenge. These guys all just making laps. You see Josh Ingram on the bottom just got into the cone and pushed it up on the track.
Yeah, Josh just trying to get out of the way as the leaders begin to catch up to him. So he's going to dive to the apron and try to stay out of the way of this battle for the lead, battle for the transfer position. Latham Joyner is closing the gap right now on AJ Rogers. That 3 car is starting to chase him down, is now within 0.2 of a second. So he is starting to gain slowly but surely on AJ Rogers. We might end up in a situation, Bill, where this front runner group might actually stack back up together, because Casey Wiggins is also starting to catch AJ Rogers along with Matt Barkhouse. So if AJ's starting to slow down just a bit, this could stack up the entire top 4, and really it could be anybody's transfer position at that point.
Yeah, this is getting tighter. You can see they're closing in. If they start racing each other, I mean, I don't think you want to, right, Jeff? I mean, it would be a scary proposition. You want to be able to get into the 75 lapper later on tonight.
Yeah, if you're Latham Joyner, I think you'd be comfortable running second, but we always say that, Bill, and then they try to win the race, because anytime that there's a race to win, somebody's going to go for it. And
Right.
I think that's what we're going to see right here, because Latham has already taken a peek underneath the 17. He is a little bit faster than AJ Rogers at this point. He's going to try to dive underneath him.
Slides it off at turn 4. The number 3 of Latham Joyner trying to put pressure on the 17 of AJ Rogers. Here comes Casey Wiggins as well in the 51, but let's watch that battle up front as Joyner really getting on it as he's right to the back bumper of AJ Rogers.
They're going to see 2 to go when they cross the line next time by. AJ Rogers still out front. Latham Joyner really putting the pressure on. Here comes Casey Wiggins. That 51 car starting to reel these top 2 in. And behind him, Matt Barkhouse, Jonathan Sanford. And this field is starting to tighten up with 2 laps to go.
Coming around to take the white flag. AJ Rogers has Latham Joyner all over him. Casey Wiggins is there. And here comes Barkhouse. Those top 3 put a blanket over him as they see the white flag from Barney.
Wiggins going to take a peek under Joyner going into turn 1. Joyner trying to get that run. He's going to look for a big run down the front back straightaway. He might have it. Will he be able to get there by turn 3? He's going to dive down to the inside of the 17. Rogers going to choose the outside line. Off turn 4, they're headed to the checkered flag. Who's it going to be at the line?
Got to be a drag race down to the line. It's going to be AJ Rogers in the 17. Holds off the challenge from Latham Joyner. Good, clean racing. Casey Wiggins will be 3rd. Matthew Barkhouse picks up that final transfer spot. The 2-1-2. Jonathan Sanford, unfortunately, not able to make it into tonight's A-main event.
Ronald Cole, Caleb Hill, Josh Ingram, and Tim Tripler will also miss tonight's feature event, and that will set us up for our second and final B-main of the night.
Good racing in that B-main. Latham Joyner tried to make it exciting there at the end. Wasn't able to get it done, but he will transfer into tonight's main event and will get another opportunity to pass AJ Rogers.
Well, B-main number 2 starting to grid now, looking for 4 more drivers tonight's main event on the front row. That is Super Zach Onan in the 42. On the outside of him in the 85 car, that's Lee Norton.
Starting the inside of row number 2 in the 07, that is Daniel Sweat, and to his outside in the 21, that's Anthony Rennick.
Ron Hunter will start 5th in this B-main. On the outside of him will be the 17, that's Josh Oswald.
Starting in the 7th position in the 50, that is Matt Nicholson. To his outside was slated to be Magnum Tate, but he looks like he has rolled his car out of the trailer.
So your final 2 starters in this B-main will be the 30 of Will Dravicki, and on the outside of him, one of the drivers who was really fast in practice, did not get a great qualifying lap, and going to find himself in the B-main. That's the 2 of JJ Chansey, but look out for JJ, because he was one of the top 5 fastest cars in practice. He's going to find himself deep in this B-main, but he obviously has the speed here at Iowa to get through this field, and he's going to have 18 laps to do it.
Well, JJ with the new paint scheme on the car this week, he had been a red and black number 2. Now he's a green, black, and white number 2. I think that one's actually easier to see now that he's got this paint scheme. The other one before was a little bit tougher.
So Zach Onan, Lee Norton, Daniel Sweat, Anthony Rennick going to start in those transfer spots. And again, a lot of drivers behind them going to try to take those spots away. Will Dravicki, a winner this season, finds himself in the B-main. And that number 30 car, you'll see him at the tail end of this field.
Zach Onan going to look to take a green flag racing. He's going to watch for the pace car to duck off the racetrack as it hits pit road. Be side by side with Lee Norton on the outside. Zach Onan watching the pace car, and he'll be on the loud pedal.
Onan takes off, and he's going to leave Lee Norton and Daniel Sweat behind. But Norton got a great upshift there, and he's going to get back with the 42 into turn 1. He is clear of Daniel Sweat into that 2nd position. Sweat is clear of Reddick. Those top 4 cars, top 5 cars going to get single file. JJ Chansey is on the move. He is already by Ron Hunter and move him up into the 6th position.
You talked about it, Jeff. Chansey was starting in the back of this field, and he's already moving forward. You talked about how much speed he had in practice. It didn't show it in qualifying. He's up to 6th, and now he's starting to put pressure on the guys in front of him. So Everybody look out. Jeff was right about JJ Chansey.
Rennick got up the racetrack. They're going into turn 1. He got underneath the 07, but got up the racetrack. Sweat had to kind of take evasive action. You see him again kind of moving up the racetrack, but he's got position on the 21. That outside seems to be a little dominant once the tires wear off, but Rennick's going to clear now. Daniel Sweat back into the 4th and final transfer position. That's a nice, comfortable spot for the 21 now in 3rd. But here comes Chansey. Chansey has already made his way past Josh Oswald. Now he's going to set his sights on Daniel Sweat.
The battle is on for those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place positions on the racetrack. You see the top 2 starting to break away just a little bit. Zach Owen and Lee Norton getting away from the 3rd place Anthony Rennick. But Rennick gets a good drive down the back straightaway and starts to gap Daniel Sweat.
Lee Norton starting to put the pressure on Zach Onan as well. Onan trying to be defensive. He's kind of guarding that inside line from Lee. Lee not able to really get position on him, but showing a little bit more speed than the 42. That car seems to get through the center and off the corner a little bit better than Zach Onan right now.
Onan down low off of turn 2. Now he's going to be almost on the apron through 3 and 4. Tough drive through the center for the 42 cars. Now Lee Norton going to put pressure on him to be down on the bottom side down the front straightaway. And that's the shorter way around the front straightaway here at Iowa.
Some of these drivers behind them are going to like to see this. This is going to bunch things up behind the 2 leaders as they go side by side. Lee Norton not able to clear the 42 that time. You can see that inside car struggles a bit. You'll start to see it get sideways coming off the corners. They're trying to put the throttle down, but it's just such a tight exit there as you're carrying so much momentum. It really loosens that race car up, and that time by Zach Onan going to hold on to the lead by just mere inches.
Don't look now. Daniel Sweat is under fire from JJ Chansey. Oh, we've got trouble for Lee Norton down the back straightaway. He got sideways. Loses momentum in the 85 car. He's going to be on the bottom, and he's still sideways in that car, trying to rally back. Lee is in big trouble. Here's JJ Chansey to the bottom for the transfer spot.
We talked about it last night. If you were watching the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series, you slide that right rear tire and it upsets that car. It almost means you have to back off and slow down for a lap or 2 just to get the car back underneath you. And that might be the situation Lee Norton has. He had a big moment there, slid that tire, and that car is just super loose right now. As JJ Chansey is going to clear him for the 4th and final transfer spot. Norton going to try to get back around Josh Oswald, put the battle to Chansey for the 4th spot.
Down through turns 1 and 2, Lee Norton on the bottom, Chansey up high, a battle of black and green machines. So you can see Josh Oswald is there, Ron Hunter's there, Will Javicki's coming in the 30 car, Will is woken up in the 30.
Norton just not able to clear Chansey. That outside line starting to come in now. Chansey up on the top side. I think Chansey did not get a great entry into the corner. That's going to allow Norton to clear. Now the 30, Hunter is going around. The 30 car spins. The caution is going to wave.
Oh, I think we had a big check up there.
Yeah, and it looked like Chansey, he didn't get into the corner very well. Then he came down the racetrack, cut down in front of Josh Oswald. Oswald hit the brakes. Hunter hit the brakes, and just no time to react for the 30 of Will Javicki.
Not the best camera angle. Let's see what we got here. Same camera angle. We don't have a very good camera angle on that one, Jeff.
Yeah, we kind of took a look at that one, and again, it just the 2 car coming down the racetrack, it made Josh Oswald really tap on the brakes, and that got Ron Hunter on the brakes, and Will Javicki. Well, we talk about it every week. The spoilers on the back of these cars are so tall, it really kind of disrupts your view of what's happening in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot. That was just a huge checkup from everybody up front. Using the County Road Custom Chopper Cam, Jeff. I think that's one of my favorite cameras now. I'm so glad that we got sponsored a Chopper.
Yeah, this is the big budget now here on this
budget.
ITZR television crew. Well, we are going to double them back up. Zach Onan, Anthony Rennick, Daniel Sweat, Lee Norton, your transfer positions, JJ Chansey, Josh Oswald in that next row. Those guys need to pick up spots if they want to race in the County Road Custom 75 tonight here at Iowa. Here we go. Will Javicki and Matt Nicholson not out of this either. Ron Hunter going to join the end of this B main. His pace car lights are out. Going to head off the racetrack. Zach Onan going to take his green flag racing once again.
Doubled up the racetrack. Anthony Rennick on the top, Zach Onan on the bottom. Onan going to take him, green flag racing, and Rennick gets through the gears. He's going to clear the cars behind him, but here comes Daniel Sweat down to the bottom, battle for second.
Rennick got a great run into turn 1 on the outside. Here comes Lee Norton. Norton going to use that outside line to try to power by Daniel Sweat as well. Norton back into 3rd, Sweat into that 4th spot now.
Rennick makes a power move, stays to the bottom. Lee Norton up top. Lee Norton is rallying as he was sideways down the back straightaway just a few laps ago. Fell all the way back, almost out of the transfer spot. I think he actually was out of the transfer spot for about a half a lap. Now he's back up to 3rd.
Battle going on for 5th, and Daniel Sweat's going to love to see that as those guys race side by side behind him. That's Chansey and Oswald. They are battling hard for the 5th position. Daniel Sweat in that 4th and final transfer spot, going to start to pull away from those two. Behind them, Will Dravicki, he's just kind of stuck back there, nowhere to go for the 30.
And Will Dravicki, you can see him bobbing and weaving. He was trying to figure out what lane to follow, if he wanted to go 3 wide or not, but he thought better of that, so he's going to stay with Josh Oswald on the top. In front of them, Anthony Rennick hanging on to 2nd place. He has Lee Norton all over his bumper.
Rennick a little sideways, so is Lee Norton coming off turn 4. Chansey's sideways as well. These drivers are starting to push it now with just 5 laps to go.
And Dravicki got into the wall trying to go around Chansey.
These guys are really on it now. It's time to go. There is no time to waste if you're going to try to make this feature event. Zach Onan still out front. Anthony Rennick, Lee Norton. Look at Lee Norton up the racetrack. He is trying some different lines here, trying to get a run on Rennick.
Oh, and Rennick's in the wall. Rennick up on the wall, stuck on the wall in the 21 car.
That is a heartbreaker. Anthony Rennick was in the show if he could finish where he was. No caution as the 21 gets down the racetrack. Now that moves Josh Oswald into the 4th and final transfer spot.
Oswald up to 4th in the 17 car. He's going to watch the cars behind him. Chansey and Dravicki, they're still battling side by side. They need to settle this and go up and battle with Oswald. But right now, they can't figure out who wants to be 5th.
Dravicki on that outside line, trying to clear the 2 of JJ Chansey. Chansey, I got a bad run there down the back straightaway. That's going to allow Will Dravicki to clear, but time is starting to run out. They're going to get 2 to go at the line.
2 laps remaining in this event. Josh Oswald holding down that 4th and final transfer position. Right in front of him, Daniel Sweat. But here comes Will Dravicki in the 30. He's cleared JJ Chansey. Dravicki has about a lap and a half to get this done.
Zach Onan is well out front of this B main ahead of Lee Norton, Daniel Sweat. This battle for 4th is the one we're going to follow. Josh Oswald, Will Dravicki. Dravicki sideways off turn 4. That's going to slow his momentum. White flag is out.
White flag for your top 4. Here comes JJ Chansey back to the bottom, but it's not going to matter if they don't get to that 17 car, the car of Josh Oswald, as that is the top 4 that's going to transfer.
And off turn 4, Zach Onan is going to see the checkered flag. He is going to win tonight's B main number 2. Lee Norton going to head to the A main with him. Daniel Sweat and Josh Oswald, your final transfer position.
Drama in your second B main event. It looked like Anthony Rennick was going to qualify. Got into the outside wall, knocked himself out of contention. Josh Oswald is the 4th car to get into the B main. We are about ready to watch some warm up as we give these guys 2 minutes to get their rhythm back if they've been sitting watching these B mains.
Give us a little time to catch our breath there, man. That was a wild B main. I think
really good stuff.
Yeah, I think just about everybody in that last B main was in a transfer spot at some point, and that was wild. It got mixed up there quite a bit towards the end, and now we're getting ready to go for the County Road Custom 75 here in Iowa. And when we talk about our warm-up, we should talk about the County Road Custom and their custom tumblers. Orders are now open. If you go to their website, countyroadcustom.com, and you can order your own custom tumbler with the ITZR logos, whether you're running in the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series or the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. You can get your series logo, your number, your signature, your whatever.
Wife's name.
Yeah, any information you want on it, they can do it custom. Drink tumblers. Very, very cool. Microwave, or not microwave safe, but dishwasher safe.
Your team's name.
Yeah, all kinds of cool options there, and our champion of this series this season will get one, and our B main champion as well.
We already have one, Jeff.
Yes, we do. I have three of them. I bought 3 of them last time, and I gave them out to family that watches the races and watches our broadcast every week.
Taking a look at the series point standings, you can see highlighted in yellow, that's County Road Custom yellow, the 8 drivers that have made it into tonight's playoffs. So tonight starts the playoffs for this County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series, and you have Blaze Brinkley, Bo Ledbetter, Felix Gratton, Aaron Johnson, Grayson Ward, Dave Corson, Ian Martin, and Kelsey Rogers. Your top 8, they have made it in 3 weeks to decide a champion. Tonight, we'll decide which 6 cars move on to round number 2.
Bill, looking at the starting lineup for just in moments that we're going to be setting our starting grid. Kelsey Rogers and Dave Corson are going to be starting deep in the field. Dave Corson again has a penalty from earlier in the night. It's going to be a long road to climb for Dave Corson if he wants to race at South Boston and continue on in this championship.
We are lining up cars on the pit road, ready to get this 75-lap A main event started. Again, round number 1 of the Late Model Challenger Series playoffs.
Well, Bill,
this one's going to be exciting, Jeff. I'm pretty excited about this one.
Yes, it is. And on the front row, one of those playoff contenders. He's got 2 wins this season. Going to start from the front row tonight. The 78, that is Bo Ledbetter. On the outside of him, one of the drivers that's been kind of a part-timer in this series, but shown a ton of speed. The 18, that's Ryan Dunkelberger.
Starting in the 3rd position, your points leader, that is the 11 car of Blaze Brinkley, and to his outside, the young man out of Canada. That's the 6 car of Felix Gratton.
This driver just missed the playoff spots. He's currently sitting 9th in the points on the 24. That's Noah Allison. On the outside of him, a former champion of this series, the 72. That's Bladen Edwards.
Starting in the 7th position, his 2nd week with the series in the 7 car, that is Jackson Lewis. And to his outside, another one of your playoff contenders in the 21 Mac and Cheese Mobile. That's Aaron Johnson.
2 of your playoff contenders will start 9th and 10th in the 9 car. It'll be Grayson Ward. On the outside of him, another playoff driver, the 98. That is Ian Martin.
Starting in the 11th position in the 18, another Canadian in the Revelry Racing number 18. That is Jean-Philippe Bergeron. And to his outside, another Revelry Racing driver. It's the ravishing one, Rick Rube.
Starting in the 13th spot in the 112, it'll be Del Mears. On the outside of him in the 18, that is Donald Clark.
Starting in the 15th position in the number 4, that's Chance Sapp. And to his outside in the 09, it's the Joker, Elliot Carlson.
Starting 17th tonight will be the 01 of Caleb Hall. On the outside of him in the 15 car, that is Braxton DeWeese.
Starting in the 19th position, one of your points playoff contenders, that is the 34 car of Kelsey Rogers deep in the field, and right next to him another one of the contenders in the 54. Actually, he's going to go to the back with the EOL, Jeff. He was slated to start 20th. He's going to drop all the way to the back. That's Dave Corson.
Starting 21st tonight will be the 5 car of John Piet. On the outside of him, this driver almost had a top 5 last night before a late incident. That is the 52 of Peyton Howe.
Starting in the 23rd position, we saw him win his B main just a few moments ago. That's the 17 car of AJ Rogers. And the other B main winner on his outside in the 42, it's Super Zach Onan.
Lee Norton will start, or actually Latham Joyner will start 25th tonight in the number 3 car. On the outside of him will be the 85, that is Lee Norton.
Starting 27th in the 51, that is Casey Wiggins. And to his outside, all these guys have transferred out of tonight's B mains. That's the 07 of Daniel Sweat.
Starting 29th tonight will be the 15 of Matt Barkhouse. On the outside of him, your final transfer in tonight's main event, the 17 of Josh Oswald. And Bill, we had a situation here with Noah Allison. He has lost steering and has pulled to the infield, and that is trouble for the 24.
Well, looks like he's got it back, Jeff. Looks like he's going to roll her back into turn number 1, and looks like he's good to go.
Well, that's a scary moment for Noah. Noah is scheduled to start, I believe, 6th tonight. Actually, 5th tonight. He's going to get back up into his spot and get ready to go for tonight's County Road Custom 75. And Bill, we took an opportunity to pick drivers last night. Neither of us picked a winner, but give it a shot. Let's go again.
Oh, I'm going to pick him 2 weeks in a row. The 11 car, Blaze Brinkley.
Well, I'm going to go with a one of those spoiler drivers. I'm going to take the 72 back there in the third row. That is Bladen Edwards, former champion of this series. He's got nothing to lose. Tonight is all about wins. I'm going to go with Bladen Edwards for the win.
It's so hard to pick cars in this series. There's so many good drivers that everybody has. I mean, I feel like the entire top 20 has a shot to win this thing. Maybe even the entire field. It's just so difficult to pick. I mean, we saw how good the B mains were, right? It didn't look like anybody was off the pace or slow in those. How do you pick a guy that's going to win out of this group of drivers?
Madison in the chat cheering for the 9 car. That is Grayson Ward. He's going to start in the top 10. I believe he's starting, 8 tonight with us in the number 9 car. Actually, make that 9th. Pace car lights are out. Bo Ledbetter are going to have control of this start in the number 78 car, going for 75 laps here at Iowa. This is going to be a fun race. 30 cars strong, 8 playoff drivers in the field. Only 6 will race for the championship next week. Here we go. Pace car is out. Bo Ledbetter going to take a screen flag racing. He got a fantastic start. He is going to be well clear of Ryan Dunkelberger at the line.
Ledbetter clearly in first. Dunkelberger going to be able to slot down in second. Here comes Blaze Brinkley in third. He's going to be side by side with Felix Stratton. They're going to battle off of turn number 2.
Felix Stratton going to try to get clear of Brinkley, get down the racetrack, just get single file. But look at the 72. Edwards charging on the outside. That's my pick, Bill. He's trying to get to the front as quickly as possible.
It's early, Jeff. Calm down. Calm down. He's doing a great job on the top side. He's going to look to the outside of Felix Stratton entering turn 1. Bladen Edwards shot out of a cannon in that 72 car, finding speed on the top side.
Another driver on the top side there. That is the 7 of Jackson Lewis. And you see that white and blue car trying to move forward on the outside. Felix going to slot right in front of Bladen. Moves up the racetrack. Now they're 3 wide. That's Grayson Ward on the inside with Noah Allison and Bladen Edwards.
I am closing my eyes. Noah Allison, he's down there. I could see it. It was happening. There's contact. And now we've got cars collected off of turn 2.
Aaron Johnson collected. That's one of your playoff drivers. Just got involved in that one. Chance Sapp looked like maybe he got involved a little bit. The 24 Noah Allison goes around in turn 1 after contact with Grayson Ward. And Bill, that is a couple playoff drivers involved there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Noah Allison knew he was down there. That was a really, really aggressive move from Grayson Ward entering turn 1. We'll try to pick them up as they get down onto the front straightaway. You can see Grayson Ward down at the bottom, 3 wide. And Noah just way, way down the racetrack, kind of just ran the bottom. And then it looked like a little bit of net code between those drivers. They made contact once, Jeff, and Noah wiggled.
Yeah, just not enough room left there on the bottom of the 9. It's an aggressive move, but he had position there at the start-finish line even. He was side by side with the 24 going into 1. He had the line, and Noah just didn't quite leave him enough room on the bottom, and they made contact, and that ended up collecting. It looked like JP Bergeron, Aaron Johnson was involved. Looking to see Braxton DeWeese, I think, was involved in that as well. So some damage for some really good cars early on here.
Yeah, the 24 just way down the racetrack. Noah Allison just didn't quite give the room. That is tight. I mean, he's looking at Bladen Edwards up the racetrack, and I think Noah just kind of lost spatial awareness there. Just couldn't really figure out where he was on the racetrack. And unfortunately, Grayson, he actually put his left front below the yellow line, trying not to get into him.
Yeah, and that's a tough break there for Aaron Johnson to get caught up in that. He is now on pit road trying to repair some damage. He's going to head to the rear of the field, one of your playoff drivers, and he's going to have his work cut out for him now. He's going to get on this horse and try to chase down some of these other drivers with the yellow banners and try to get to the front and pass as many as he can. Only 6 of the 8 drivers are going to be eligible for the championship next week, so we're going to drop 2 of them. That's the last 2 on the racetrack.
Well, you could see live there as we were watching Aaron Johnson's car being repaired. You could see body panels popping out. You don't see the crew members. They're there. They really are. But that car was getting repaired on the racetrack, or actually on pit road, and now it comes off looking not too bad.
Yeah, hopefully not too much damage for Aaron's sake. That car actually looks pretty good. We talked about it last night, how much of a tank the rear of these cars are. So if you get hit in the back bumper, it's not as bad as maybe taking some damage to the right front fender or the nose of the car.
If you're watching on our Facebook page or even the Elite Performance Industries Facebook page, do not forget to like and share the broadcast. We really appreciate it. It does nothing but help out the drivers.
Ian Blanchard hanging out. Yeah, Ian Blanchard hanging out on the Facebook chat. Thank you, Ian.
It's good to see Ian back, isn't it, Jeff? I mean, one of the old-time in the zone racing drivers. Been around a long time, kind of took a hiatus from iRacing, and now he's making his way back onto the service. I even talked to him a little bit. I think he's planning to run the Late Model Challenger Series next season.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to have him back. Some of the old timers have been coming around, hanging around a little bit this last couple of weeks, so it'll be cool to see some of these guys come back. And we've seen some old names join us the last few weeks. The 75 Mike Alexander joined this series again.
That's
been
right.
Racing with us, and it's been a while since we've seen Mike, and it's good to see some of these old timers coming back to race with us.
We call them old timers. I think Ian's like 28.
Right, yeah. Well, pace car going to head off the racetrack. They are doubled up, ready to go. Green flag racing. Bo Ledbetter going to have control of the start on the inside of that 78. He is off and away, and Dunkelberger looked like maybe spun the tires a little bit. That's going to allow Blaze Brinkley to pull alongside into turn 1. Can Dunkelberger clear the 11? He's not going to do it. It is a battle for second now.
Here comes Blaze Brinkley up the inside. Going to be side-by-side off of turn 2. They'll race side-by-side down the back straightaway. Here comes Bladen Edwards behind him. Felix Gratton is there.
Well,
boy, they're tight to 3 and 4.
Yeah, they are double file all the way through the field as Bo Ledbetter just drives away from the stack up here. Blaze Brinkley, Ryan Dunkelberger side-by-side. Bladen Edwards and Felix Gratton are side-by-side behind them. Dunkelberger going to get a great run down the back straightaway. Can he clear the 11? Can he get in line? And I think he's going to do it. Dunkelberger back into the second spot. Here comes Felix Gratton now on the outside. He has position on the 11 of Brinkley.
Dunkelberger powers around the outside in that 18 car. Now Felix Gratton going to try to follow him in the 6. It's interesting. We've been watching all these last 2 nights, and we watched the top side be a very, very fast line around. And it seems like sometimes the bottom comes in and the guys on the bottom start to move forward. Then all of a sudden the guys on the top find momentum and they just drive around the guys on the bottom. So this is a very, very racy setup from Shotgun 12 Racing.
And I see some drivers trying to jump to the outside. One of those is Donald Clark. He's trying to get to the outside of the 81 of Rick Rube. Going to get position going into turn 1 on Rube, trying to move forward as well. That is the battle for the 9th spot on the racetrack. Is Donald Clark making progress on the outside line?
Oh, we got almost trouble. Grayson Ward got really sideways entering turn number 3. Oh, we've got trouble. The 7 car. Is that Jackson Lewis? He's sideways.
Lewis is around, trouble off turn 4. Might have been a little contact there as things started to stack up between that front running group that was just double file throughout the field. And I think Jackson maybe got a little tap there off turn 4.
Take a look. He was inside of Grayson Ward to come through turns 3 and 4. That was Ian Martin that was right behind him. That's going to be extremely tough to see.
To me, it looks like Jackson maybe hit the apron. That car kind of shot up the racetrack, and he kind of came up in front of Ian Martin. As that car seemed to mid-corner just kind of take a shot up the racetrack.
It does jump out a little bit. I don't think Ian is doing anything wrong there. Take a look.
Ian was working that outside line in the 7 on the inside of the 9 of Grayson Ward, and I think that 7 car just got that car down too low on the apron, caught that yellow line, and that was enough to shoot him up the racetrack right in front of the 98.
And it's just so tight.
Donald Clark got a little damage on that as well. Him and Rick Rube got together trying to avoid that mess, and it looked like Donald maybe bounced that car off the wall. Hopefully not too much damage to the 18. He's going to continue on racing. I think Del Mears might have got a little bit of involvement in that as well.
Looks like Donald Clark has a little bit of right front damage on the 18 car. Dell as well. Got that right front pushed in pretty good. It's actually an interesting bit of damage on the Dell Mears machine. We don't usually see that type of damage on a super late model. Kind of push the right front out and shove the front bumper in. That's a little bit different than I normally see. The one you see Donald Clark, that's normal damage. Dell Mears is a little bit odd. Looks like those cars, this racetrack doing 140 miles an hour down the straightaways, it's probably going to hurt those guys just a little bit.
Yeah, this is not a racetrack you want damage to the front end of the car. That splitter and that right front fender is just so important on these type of racetracks. So not the best situation for some of these guys that have already got some damage here early on in this one, just 14 laps into the 75 lapper. They'll be your double file. We're going to go back to green flag racing right now. Bo Ledbetter, Ryan Dunkelberger, Blaze Brinkley, Felix Gratton, Bladen Edwards, Grayson Ward, your top 6.
Watching the pace car duck off the racetrack on the pit road. Bo Ledbetter on the gas early. Blaze Brinkley going to follow him through. That's going to give him an opportunity to pass Ryan Dunkelberger as they enter turn 1. Not a great start from Dunkelberger. This Blaze going to clear him entering turns 1 and 2.
Blaze Brinkley able to clear the 18 of Dunkelberger. Now he's up into the 2nd spot. Here comes Bladen Edwards on the outside. He is trying to move forward in the 72. Felix Gratton holding tough on the outside line. Again, early on, the inside line will work, but maybe 2-3 laps in, you got to be to the top. The caution's going to wait for an incident further back in the field.
John Piette possibly in the 5?
Yeah, and it looks like maybe there was a 3 wide moment down the back straightaway that collected the 5 of John Piette.
Oh. It's like... makes a little contact, has to shade down to the bottom because of the car up above him, and then Aaron Johnson just got in the left rear. Get an even better shot of that.
Yeah, not really sure Aaron could have done much in that situation there as John had gotten up the racetrack. Aaron's kind of running the bottom, minding his own business. John came back down after contact, just kind of gets himself turned around there. But it looks like everybody's going to get out of that one without any harm, really. John going to just lose a couple spots and be back at the rear of the field.
And John did a nice job spinning that car all the way back around.
Yeah, just kind of 360s it, continues on, and really not going to cost him much, maybe a spot or 2. Those guys were already kind of at the rear of the field.
So this one's been a little bit rough and tumble early. We saw a great race last night from the late model shootout series at Iowa. Normally Iowa's a really clean racetrack, but these guys having a hard time finding their way. It is a wide racetrack, and everybody seems to want to fight for the bottom. We saw the top like really running up high last night. Really kind of benefits some guys, but all these guys seem to be fighting for that yellow line.
Well, Bill, looking at the playoff drivers right now, the guys that would not make it into the next round would be Aaron Johnson, who currently runs 28th, and the 54, Dave Corson, currently sitting 17th on the racetrack. Now, Kelsey Rogers is behind Dave. Dave has a 5-point penalty due to a situation that happened last week, and he needs to be 5 points ahead of that cutoff in order, or 5 points ahead of that cutoff in order to make the top 6. So Dave kind of in a hole right now.
And Dave had a situation on the racetrack last week, and he's got a penalty as a result.
Colby Bryant hanging out in the chat. He is cheering for Bo Ledbetter. Misty in the chat cheering for Grayson Ward. Grayson currently running 6th. And look at this, Bill. Bo Ledbetter going to take the outside line here. So I think these guys are starting to see the outside is the place to be. He's going to put that 11 of Brinkley on the inside. And these are 2 guys with the most wins this season in this series. They each have 2 going into tonight, and they're going to be racing for another one.
Side by side, they're going to line up. This one's going to get exciting. it hasn't been already. Unfortunately, we've seen too many yellows right now. I would like to see some green flag racing. I think Dave Corson and Kelsey Rogers would like that as well, along with Aaron Johnson.
Bo Ledbetter off and on the loud pedal, and he is off and away. Here comes Felix Gratton. Gratton going to try to take second from Blaze Brinkley. Brinkley on the inside. He is going to clear the 6 there into turn 1. A great run for him. Now Dunkelberger struggling. He has got the 9 of Grayson Ward on the outside. Here comes Ward looking for the 4th spot.
Big wreck in the back. Braxton DeWeese was caught in it with, looked like Jean-Philippe Bergeron.
We are staying green.
Yeah, they stayed green, but I saw Bergeron was around. I think he immediately went to pit road. Braxton DeWeese was up on the wall, almost got her into the fence.
Here comes Grayson Ward. Oh, Dunkelberger in the wall down the back straightaway. Ian Martin has to take evasive action. Dunkelberger holds on, but he is losing spots like crazy right now, deep into this field now. And they are 3 wide with Dave Corson, Zach Oden up the middle.
Oh, now Corson comes down on Zach Oden, almost causes Oden to go around. Now Oden's going to be on the bottom. They'll go back to 2 wide, but that was close to being something. And whoa, there's that Donald Clark down the back straightaway.
Clark on the inside, Rick Rube in the middle now. Del Muir's going to get a little shot through 3 and 4 from the 4 Chance Sapp. It is just craziness all over the racetrack. They're 4 wide. Oden's going around.
But he's in the grass, Jeff. Now he's up. Oh, and we go yellow. Wow. Just no. I don't think anybody ever took their foot off the gas.
Yeah, they were 4, 5 wide further back in the field. Lee Norton and Zach Oden got hooked together down the front straightaway, and that just turned the 42 as Zach Oden across the racetrack collects Latham Joyner. Kelsey Rogers ended up in the grass. I think he avoided damage, but that was one of our playoff drivers right in the middle of that mess.
Oh, Zach Oden just, I mean, I don't even know how to explain what's happening right now. Zach Oden had to lift. Lee Norton lifted because of it. Matthew Barkhouse couldn't see it, so he didn't lift. And then Lee Norton got back on the gas and just drove into Zach Oden's right rear.
Yeah, Lee off the corner, I think when he tried to pick up the throttle, spun the tires, and he just kind of drove him down into the quarter panel with Zach Oden. Oden was along for the ride there as he just came back to the racetrack. Watch that red 34, Kelsey Rogers, how he avoids this. That's one of your playoff contenders. He goes to the grass. He's just trying to get as far away from it as he possibly can to stay out of this one. And he did a good job of it. No damage, it looks like, to that 34.
Yeah, he just turns left. The car got loose, I think. But woo, what a scary ride for Kelsey Rogers, but ends up being an A+ for avoidance. It's just mayhem. Just no give whatsoever. I mean, we're on lap 25.
Yeah, just some
now
aggressive
just junked race cars because of it.
Yeah, that was, I mean, towards the rear of the field even. I mean, these guys are getting aggressive for every spot. And just some wild racing towards the back of the field.
I mean, Zach's come. You just don't know where to go. I mean, like, cars everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
big wreck. Zach Oden in the wall hard. Latham Joyner caught in that big time, too.
Yeah, I mean, I see 4 wide, maybe almost 5 wide at one point there on the front straightaway. It just, I mean, you got to give a little bit of room. Once things start to stack up, I don't know if just shooting up the middle 4 wide is what you should be doing, but that's going to get us a caution here, and we're under caution here on lap 26 now.
Well, we have seen with these guys, Jeff, this Late Model Challenger Series, it is either, like, there's a switch with these guys. It's either a good race, and then they give each other some room, and we're having a good time, or it is just turned on full go, full send all race long, and I have a bad feeling we're seeing a full send moment.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, especially the first round of the playoffs, because it is catching up some of our playoff drivers. Now looking through the field, Dave Corson is up to the 13th spot. It looked like Kelsey Rogers lost some positions. He avoided incident, but losing some spots. He's currently running 20th. Aaron Johnson sitting 22nd. Those would be the guys out of the playoffs if this ended the way it is. But up front, Bo Ledbetter, Blaze Brinkley, 2 playoff drivers. They're going to race for the win here. Pace car is off. Bo has chosen the outside line for this restart. He gets control. He is off and away. He's going to bring Felix Gratton with him on the outside.
Felix Gratton around Blaze Brinkley. Brinkley did not get a great restart, but here he comes fighting back around the bottom. He was able to clear Dunkelberger earlier in the race. Not able to do so with Grattan, as Grattan's going to clear him down the back straightaway. Here comes Grayson Ward in the 9.
Felix able to clear Brinkley for that second spot. Brinkley going to try to battle back on the inside. Now he's going to slip up behind the 6 car. Just maybe follow. Nope, he's going back to the bottom into turn 1.
We're watching stuff all over the racetrack, Jeff. Is that middle back to the pack? They are crazy once again, just side-by-side racing. It looks like Daytona out there. Too wide all the way around this racetrack. You can do it here in Iowa. This track is fantastic for side-by-side racing. You just can't get too close to each other. The guys on the outside need to understand that.
Brinkley a little sideways off turn 4. He's still trying to get to the bottom of the 6, but look who's trying to go to the outside. Grayson Ward is there. If Brinkley can't get back in the line this time, Grayson's going to have position on this 11 car. He is trying to take away 3rd. Felix might have got the wall down the back straightaway.
Felix lost a little bit of momentum coming off of turn 2. Here comes Blaze Brinkley. Peyton Howell's sideways off of turn 4. He's making his way forward in the 52 car. He got really loose coming off of 4, slid across the nose of Ian Martin.
So we're just 30 laps into this race. Peyton Howell started 22nd. He is now 5th. That 52 car is flying through the field.
Felix Grattan up the racetrack. Here comes Grayson Ward in the 9. Blaze Brinkley has cleared. He's up to 2nd, side by side for P3. Peyton Howell looking on in the 52.
Donald Clark taking a peek underneath Bladen Edwards. This is the battle for 8th on the racetrack. Bladen got a little sideways last time off turn 4. That slowed his momentum. Donald Clark trying to take advantage, not able to do it. Going into turn 3, he's going to get back to the inside of the 72.
Donald Clark dealing with a little bit of damage on that right front of that 18 car. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. Able to mix it up here in this pack. He had 2 number 18s running nose to tail, Dunkelberger and Donald Clark.
Peyton Howell and Felix Grattan make some contact down the back straightaway, and that upset the 52 car. He got sideways down the back straightaway. There comes Ian Martin working the outside. 52 going to move up in front, try to take that outside line away, and he is back into the 5th spot for the time being.
Here's somebody we haven't talked about all night making his appearance in the top 10. Caleb Hall in the 01. He's up to 7th.
Caution is going to wave. Looks like maybe Daniel Sweat went around in turn 1.
Sweat's got some damage on the front of that 07 car.
And it looked like Daniel just kind of got caught up in an incident there involving Noah Allison. Noah bounced that thing off the front straightaway wall, and Daniel just nowhere to go.
Oh, we saw this, and oh boy, and then AJ Rogers just couldn't check up. Daniel takes the worst of it in the 07.
Looks like John Piet got a little piece of that as well. John able to hold on to it, but caught the 07 as he was starting to go around, and yeah, they're going to come down pit road. Look like Noah's saying he's got something wrong with the steering once again. Remember, he was on the apron at the start trying to fix that car, and still having issues with his equipment over there.
Big damage on some of these race cars down on pit road. Zach Onan down there, Daniel Sweat. You said Noah Allison having issues with his steering. He's on pit road as well. Noah with the least amount of damage, and he's the one that climbed the wall in that 24 car.
So it looks like we've only lost 2 drivers so far. That's JP Bergeron is going to officially finish 30th tonight, and Braxton DeWeese. And actually, as I say that, Lee Norton has left the server as well. So 27 cars still with us, 27 on the lead lap. Your race leader right now, Bo Ledbetter, Blaze Brinkley, Grayson Ward, Felix Grattan. Those 4 drivers are your playoff contenders. Peyton Howell sitting 5th, trying to play spoiler. He started 22nd tonight, already up to the 5th spot. Ian Martin, another playoff driver, currently running 6th. Caleb Hall, 7th. Bladen Edwards, 8th. Donald Clark, 9th. Ryan Dunkelberger, 10th. And as I look through the field to see where the other playoff contenders are, Kelsey Rogers running 17th. Dave Corson, 18th. Aaron Johnson, running 20th right now. So if it ended right now, it would be Aaron Johnson and Dave Corson out for the next round.
These guys running towards the rear. They need to get some laps in here. They need some green flag racing to make some moves on some of these other cars. we just keep running under caution. It's not helping any of those guys get forward.
Yeah, and when we only get 2-3 laps, we spend most of those 2 or 3 laps side by side throughout the field. So there's nowhere to go really for these guys. They're just kind of stuck in traffic, and they need this thing to spread out, get a good green flag run so they can move forward. And it just hasn't happened yet as we're working lap 36 of this one. Bo Ledbetter, Blaze Brinkley. Bo going to take the inside this time. Kind of an interesting choice. He's going to hope for a really good run on this launch here. He needs to get clear of that 11.
Ian Martin having some issues with his connection there. Bad time to have it on a restart. He has completely disappeared. That's a playoff car.
And if he does not come back, that would be disastrous for Ian Martin. Could you imagine your championship ending on basically a mechanical failure there? Ian is not with us right now. Out front is Bo Ledbetter, Blaze Brinkley, Grayson Ward, Felix Gratton, and Peyton Howell battling hard.
Saw contact between Caleb Hall and someone else on the back straightaway. I think Ian Martin is trying to come. I see like smoke coming from something in the field. I think that might be Ian Martin's car. But he is gone. Nobody could see him. If he popped back in, it would be disaster.
Peyton Howell has cleared Felix Gratton. He is up to the 4th position. Peyton Howell is looking for redemption right now. He had a great run going last night, got involved in an incident, ended up deep in the field. He is trying to get to the lead, but look at this battle for the lead. Bo Ledbetter on the outside. Blaze Brinkley is going for the lead. The 78 on the outside. He's led every lap so far after getting pole, and Blaze Brinkley wants this lead from him.
Blaze Brinkley on the bottom. He's been on the bottom all night long, Jeff. We saw guys last night running topside and doing really well, but Blaze Brinkley has put his car to the bottom. He is married to that yellow line, and he is trying to make it happen as Bo Ledbetter on the top side, going to try to sling around and use the momentum on the top. But Blaze Brinkley, man, he is flying in that 11 as he is putting pressure and trying to take away this lead.
Yeah, as this run goes on, it's going to get more and more difficult to be that car on the inside line, and Grayson Ward knows this. He's going to try to jump to the outside of Blaze while he has an opportunity. If he can get there, he can make this very difficult on the 11 car, maybe slip into second. Almost a little contact with Bo. Bo's up the racetrack. Blaze going to take the race lead. Here comes Grayson Ward. Will he have a run into turn 3? Will he do anything with it? Not able to, and that's going to move Bo Ledbetter all the way back to the 5th spot.
Bo Ledbetter, something happened there. There might have been some contact, possibly some netcode as he walked way up the racetrack. He's going to have to rally now in that 78 car. He's underneath Felix Gratton. They're going to battle for the 4th position through 1 and 2.
Blaze Brinkley, your leader. Grayson Ward, 3rd. Peyton Howell up to Grayson Ward up to 2nd. Peyton Howell up to 3rd. Felix Gratton currently 4th. Bo Ledbetter 5th. And here comes Caleb Hall, the 01 to the outside of Bo Ledbetter. He's going to try to take a spot away from Ledbetter. Behind them, it's Bladen Edwards in 7th. Back to Ryan Dunkelberger in 8th. Delmire's currently running 9th. Donald Clark in the 10th spot.
Kelsey Rogers is making moves, Jeff. We talked about him needing some time. I saw him make an aggressive 3-wide move just a few laps ago. He's up to 13th. So Kelsey moving forward in the 34. He needs to. He's one of those playoff cars, and he's flying right now in that 34 car. He needs to make this happen, and he's making it happen as he's forcing issues and basically just driving through this field.
Yeah, and that is big for Kelsey Rogers because he started deep in this field in 19th. He is up to the 13th spot. He's moving forward. Now he's chasing down Matt Barkhouse, and look at the run he's getting.
Rick Rube in trouble on the back straightaway.
Rube to the inside of the racetrack. He is slow, but he's back on the throttle, and I think we're going to stay green flag racing.
Got some damage on the front end of that 81 car. I thought he might have made contact with his teammate, Elliot Carlson.
We got a battle for 2nd now. Peyton Howell to the outside of Grayson Ward. Here comes Howell to the outside. He's going to try to power around Grayson. And again, as this race runs on, that outside is going to become more and more dominant. Peyton had a great run last night. He's kind of learned a thing or two from the Monday night race, and he is now chasing down your race leader, Blaze Brinkley.
We talked about it. This setup is set up to go to the outside. We go yellow, but in the middle of that, Peyton Howell did clear the number 9 around the outside. So a power move. Let's try to figure out what happened. Set up this caution. Donald Clark.
It was Donald Clark, yeah.
What happened to Donald on the front straightaway? He was having a great run inside the top 10.
Looks like he got some contact possibly from Chance Sapp in the 4 car. Sapp, I think Sapp was trying to save that thing. Maybe got a little loose, came up the racetrack to try to hold on to it, and he just clipped the 18 of Donald Clark.
Well, we know Crystal is probably not enjoying life at the moment. sure Donald not real happy about that one, just kind of minding his own business. Let's see if we get a better camera angle of this. We watch him coming down the front straightaway. And yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. Solid call. I think the 4 car just walks her up the track. Yeah, just walks her up the track, gets into the 18 car, and spins Donald out of a top 10 position. And Donald actually got the inside wall, wasn't able to lock it down in the grass there, and actually got the front end of the inside wall. So that's going to put more damage on that 18 machine. He'll be on pit road. Zach Onen, Elliot Carlson, Rick Rube on pit road.
Chance Sapp going to go to the rear of the field for that contact with the 18. Blaze Brinkley out front. Peyton Howell, Grayson Ward, Felix Gratton, Bo Ledbetter, Bladen Edwards currently running 6th. Caleb Hall running 7th. Ryan Dunkelberger 8th. Del Mears 9th. Matt Barkhouse up to 10th. Kelsey Rogers, now one of your playoff drivers, up to 11th. Dave Corsel up to 13th. Aaron Johnson having a great rebound. He is back up to the 15th spot now. Ian Martin, we saw Ian have those problems with his connection. He is back to the 21st position.
Did Ian stay on the lead lap?
Yeah, he is currently on the lead lap, but he lost a ton of spots. He basically had to drop to the rear and try to find a place to hide while his connection got sorted out. But if it ended right now, it would be Ian Martin out of the playoffs, and possibly looks like Dave Corsel still with that 5-point penalty would end up behind Aaron Johnson if this ended right now.
So that was the first decent green flag run we really had, Jeff. We saw Blaze Brinkley take the lead. Then Bo Ledbetter. Something happened. We didn't get a really good shot at what was going on there. But Ledbetter walked up that racetrack. I'm sure it was some sort of net code. I didn't see them that close. But Ledbetter up the racetrack, ended up getting bumped back to 5th spot. That's where he runs right now. That's another playoff contender. Right now, up front, for that top 5, all playoff contenders in this race. We talked about it. Last night we had 6 out of the top 7, I believe, were playoff contenders at one point. They're doing it again tonight.
Looking at the Facebook chat, Cody hanging out said if Aaron has one more bad connection and Aaron is in this, and that is right. Aaron is rallying right now. Adam Dowdy with us, cheering for Bo Ledbetter. Thomas Axum hanging out with us in the Facebook chat. Hey, Thomas, a runner-up last night. Crystal's got the facepalm on right now. That's not what she wanted to see there for Donald. Lee Harrison watching Bo's stream.
Love to know what Bo said, what happened there. That was an interesting situation with him up the racetrack in turn number 2. Did a great job getting back on the throttle, though, and not losing any more spots.
Yeah, Bo hanging on to that 5th position right now, and he is not out of this. There's plenty of time to get back up there. We're going to go back to green with 25 laps to go in this one, and Blaze Brinkley going to choose the top, take us green flag racing. That 11 car will have control of this restart.
Brinkley with a great restart. It's going to pull Felix Gratton along with him. So Felix Gratton saw Brinkley go. Peyton Howell never went. They're going to be side by side into turn number 1. Ooh, that's tight racing. Oh, and Peyton Howell's going to go head on into the wall.
Caution is going to wave Howell into the fence, and man, that was a heck of a hit, and I think that's going to probably end the night for Peyton Howell.
Now, Peyton Howell was putting on a show on the outside, and I was about to say, Jeff, it looked like he was going to try to muscle his way back to the top. It just looked like he came off the bottom. I mean, he had a car above him. We'll check it out as we go down through turns 1 and 2 here on the replay.
It was tight. Felix, they're right on the white line for that outside groove. The 52, Peyton, he's about a car length or about half a car width up from the yellow line, and those two get hooked together right on the right rear, and that's enough to send the 52 straight up the racetrack.
Peyton, to his credit, great job locking that car down, just stomped on the brakes and didn't let it slide back across the racetrack in front of the field. Well, that was violent.
Yeah, and that could have just been a disaster for Felix Gratton as well, who nearly got taken out in that incident. Um, Felix, one of our playoff contenders, really holds on to the fifth spot. Bill Ledbetter was able to sneak past him, but that could have been a big moment for Felix Gratton. Peyton Howell just racing for wins tonight, and it's going to come to an end there in turn 2.
Give us that chopper shot. Yeah, Peyton just walks her up there a little bit. I just think that's what happened. Like, he was just thinking top side, top side, top side, and he was never clear of Felix. Kind of accustomed to this. That great shot from the chopper.
I think that's kind of one of those sliders that just didn't quite clear there.
Yeah.
Peyton really sent her off into turn 1. I think he was thinking, I'm going to clear the 6 mid corner, and he just never quite got clear. And man, it just hooked at 52. Once he got that first, once he got hooked in the right rear, there's nothing Peyton can do. He's along for the ride.
And that's heartbreak. I mean, Peyton was really fun to watch right there. He was doing a lot of things on the top side. One of the only guys that was willing to go to the top and was making it work. And like I said, I just think he was thinking, I got to get back up there, and maybe thought he was clear. Maybe thought Felix would give him a break. Didn't happen, and just walked up the racetrack until that bumper hooked, and then it was game over. He did a whole Michael McDowell thing there at Texas. That's a pretty good NASCAR reference. What do you think, Jeff?
That was a pretty good one. If anybody remembers that wreck, that was probably one of the most violent ones we've seen in recent memory. Well, pace car lights are out, Bill. We did not complete a lap, so we're going to go back to single file this time. Blaze Brinkley, Grayson Ward. Look at his third. Bladen Edwards now up to the 3rd spot there. And Blaze Brinkley going to have control of this one. Going to take him all the way up to the wall, get that big run down the front straightaway. Single file restart this time.
Ryan Dunkelberger going to poke out. Blaze Brinkley with a really nice restart. Takes about a 3 or 4 car length lead into turn number 1. A little bit farther back. Here comes Del Mears around the outside.
Blaze Brinkley got a great restart. He is off and away about 3-4 car lengths over Grayson Ward. The battle is on for second, and Bo almost got the wall as Bladen Edwards swung up in front of him. Almost caught the outside wall. Bo going to try to dive to the bottom now on the 72, but Edwards got that preferred outside groove here as they battle for the 3rd spot.
What a battle up front. Bo Ledbetter trying to make things happen in the 78 after he got shuffled back a few laps ago. Boy, tight racing off of turn 4.
Side by side for the 3rd position.
Oh, big wreck. Matthew Barkhouse around on the front straightaway.
Ian Martin is involved. That's one of your playoff drivers collected in that one. He has got some serious damage in the 98.
Del Mears was involved as well. Barkhouse immediately to pit road. Oh, boy. What happened as they came off of turn 4 and down the front straightaway?
That was right around the 10th position, and it looks like Del Mears just came off the corner, got sideways, gets down the racetrack, collects Matthew Barkhouse, and look at Kelsey Rogers miss that one again. That is the second one that Kelsey Rogers has nearly been involved in, and he just slips right through the middle.
Kelsey Rogers, Josh Oswald needs to go buy a lottery ticket. We're going to ride with Josh Oswald. We haven't talked about Josh since the B main. But,
yeah, Josh is having a great run. Came from the B main and just, he's staying out of trouble. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's found himself up in the top 16 now.
Let's take a look at Josh Oswald through this wreck really quick. There's whoa, watch out. And hey now, actually gets a little bit at the end. Ian Martin sliding across, one of your playoff contenders, not his night right now. Let's take a look at Josh Oswald's view of this. Would have been perfect. I would have given him a 10 had he not gotten Ian at the end.
Josh going to come down pit road, so I guess he thinks the damage is worth coming down to fix now. That is a tough break for him. Kelsey Rogers, he avoided all of that again, and now Kelsey, I believe, is going to be scored about a 10th position, I think. 9th position now for Kelsey Rogers. Unbelievable. He has just been able to slip through everything tonight.
Yeah, we talked about it. We said he needed some help. He needed to run some green flag laps. He needed to make his way forward. He just had a tough starting position. He's pulling an Eric Tracy right now. He's rolling through the field. He's making moves. He's putting pressure on these guys. He's going to be a guy to beat. You're going to have to knock him out. He came in 8th place in the point standings, and he wants to get in the second round.
Right now he's ahead of Dave Coursol, so that would lock him into the next round if he can finish ahead of the 54 car. Ian Martin sitting on pit road with some damage, currently running 24th, and that would be bad news for Ian because, and actually Ian is called it a night, so that is going to be it for Ian Martin. He has left the server, and Bill, that means he is eliminated from our championship contention.
Heartbreak for the 98 car. Just was having a great run, and you said it, Jeff, a mechanical issue where he had connection issues, had to drop to the rear of the field, and that put him behind the 8 ball. And then you have to become an avoidance master, and just wasn't able to avoid that wreck, and that ends his night and ends his chance for the championship. So Ian Martin, kind of not of his own doing, but kind of his own doing. I mean, don't know what happened there that he lost connection, but just blinked out of the race for a little while, and when he made his way back, he was in the back.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Ian. He's one of our really quality racers. Got the call up this season on Monday nights. Good, solid, clean racer. Always finds his way to the front, and he's very consistent. And fortunately, playoff formats don't really reward the super consistent drivers, right? And unfortunately, just bad luck at the wrong time for Ian Martin.
Yeah, that one's rough. You hate to see it too, right? I mean, the guy does such a great job, has a great season, and then just one race. Like I said, these guys have the knobs turned up to 10. Price of poker's definitely gone up, Jeff. I think it's been up all night long. Oh, you look at Bo Ledbetter and Bladen Edwards doing some trick driving there. Did you see that when they were swapping positions back and forth?
Yeah, so Blaze Brinkley chose the top, and I guess Bo Ledbetter thought, hey, I'm
going to go with him.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't do that here. Only the first row gets to choose. But it was a nice try by Bo there, trying to keep one past us.
Tried to get one in on him. Didn't happen.
So Blaze Brinkley gonna restart your race leader on the outside line, and that number 11 car, Grayson Ward, on the inside. Then you're gonna have Bo Ledbetter and Bladen Edwards in that second row. And look at Blaze, shot out of a cannon once again. Clear Grayson Ward. Ward gonna slot into that second spot. The battle is on for third. Can Ledbetter clear Bladen Edwards? I think he might do it. No, Edwards gonna fight back into turn 2.
Side by side down the back straightaway. That's not done yet. Is Bo Ledbetter going to look to the inside of Bladen Edwards? They'll be side by side through 3 and 4. Here comes Caleb Hall in the 01, and behind them Felix Gratton and Jackson Lewis are battling side by side. Jackson Lewis making his way forward in that 7 machine.
Yeah, Jackson Lewis having a great run. Remember, he was involved in an incident early on, got turned around. He has already fought his way back up there as he's trying to go around Felix Gratton. Lewis looking for the 6th position on Gratton.
That Bo Ledbetter race, he's still racing with Bladen Edwards, and they're going to make contact off of 4. Bo Ledbetter made contact with Bladen Edwards. Bladen Edwards, what a save. What a save by the 72 car.
And here comes Caleb Hall to the inside of the 01 car. He is trying to take advantage of this situation. He dives underneath Bo Ledbetter. That's going to move Ledbetter back up the racetrack, kind of slow his momentum, and Caleb Hall going to try to take over a third.
Caleb Hall to the left rear. Bo Ledbetter puts it right there. Boy, oh boy, you saw Ledbetter get off of turn 4. They're getting everything out of these cars. Ledbetter able to clear him entering turn 1.
Still a side-by-side battle for the 3rd spot, or 4th spot rather, as Bladen Edwards now up the racetrack, contact with Caleb Hall. Here comes Jackson Lewis in that 7 car. He's going to try to move up a spot further back. Dave Coursol has cleared Kelsey Rogers, but Kelsey Rogers still ahead of Aaron Johnson, so Aaron Johnson would be the odd man out right now.
Aaron Johnson running 10th. Is he far enough ahead of Coursol?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
With that 5-point penalty, Coursol would end up falling back behind Aaron Johnson because of that 5-point penalty. So right now, Coursol needs to get on the move if he needs to pass some cars.
That penalty from last week's dust-up in Richmond, not in Coursol's favor, clearly, as right now he's running in a position where he would normally be in, but because of the 5-point penalty, he is out. So he needs to be the one that gets a move on here. It's going to be really tough. He's got really good cars in front of him.
And Bill, another thing we need to talk about is Blaze Brinkley is leading this race. He has 2 wins. This would give him a 3rd win. That'd mean 3 bonus points going into the next week at South Boston. That could be huge as well.
Yeah, that gives you just a little bit of a cushion. You want to make it into the final round, be one of the top 4, then you battle mano a mano for that championship.
Jackson Lewis trying to get the outside of Bladen Edwards. This is the battle for 5th on the racetrack. And Edwards in that Lewis in that 7 car got the position on the outside, and it's gonna be hard for Edwards to fight him off now. Is the 7 car to his right rear quarter panel, and he's just gonna keep inching forward every time by now as Bladen Edwards stuck on the inside line.
These guys coming to get 6 to go as they hit the line. They're gonna make contact on the front straightaway. Bladen Edwards, Jackson Lewis side by side. Guys behind them want to see those guys eliminate themselves. There's a couple playoff drivers that want to avoid every wreck that happens, but if one happens in front of them, that's a good thing.
Bladen gets really close to the left rear quarter panel. Jackson Lewis, no contact there, as it looks like Lewis going to finally clear the 72 and move into the 5th spot. And out front, it's still Blaze Brinkley, but he is being chased by Grayson Ward. Time is starting to tick away as we're working lap 71 of 75.
Starting to stretch it out just a little bit. Single file racing. Grayson Ward trying to run down your leader. Blaze Brinkley leading this race. Bo Ledbetter's moved up to 3rd, but he's being gapped by your 2 leaders. Bo trying to get back and try to battle for this one, but might have burnt those tires up trying to get back to 3rd place.
Grayson Ward has a win this season. He started with 1 bonus point tonight. Could he get another win? Could he be tied with Blaze Brinkley going into next week's race at South Boston? That would be huge for Grayson Ward as he is trying to chase down that 11. Blaze has been kind of the hot driver of the season. He's just keeps winning races. He's been so consistent in the top 5, led the points most of the year. But again, once the playoffs start, it's all about who finds the momentum at the right time. And could that be Grayson Ward?
Well, we've talked to these drivers multiple times already this season. They're trying to get on the podium once again.
Dave Corson, Kelsey Rogers, they are battling side by side for the 8th position, 7th position. Rogers on the inside. Corson has now gotten to the outside of the 34. Behind them, Aaron Johnson is watching this battle and thinking, man, I'd love to get by these 2 guys. I'm racing for points.
Right. Absolutely. Anything that happened to one of these 3 drivers would be absolute disaster at this point. Enough cars in the field that it would knock them right out of the playoffs. Now Kelsey Rogers a little bit sideways off of turn 4. White flag is out.
White flag is out for Blaze Brinkley. Grayson Ward is right there, but he lost some momentum going into turn 1. He's going to get a nice run down the back straightaway, but is it going to be enough? He's still about a car length behind Brinkley into turn 3. It looks like Brinkley is going to have this one off turn 4. Brinkley going to win his 3rd race of the season, taking home the County Road Custom 75.
Cars spreading out behind them. Grayson Ward will finish 2nd. Bo Ledbetter 3rd. Jackson Lewis comes home 4th. Made a last lap pass on Caleb Hall for that position. Hall comes home 5th. Bladen Edwards 6th. Felix Gratton 7th. Dave Corsall 8th. Kelsey Rogers 9th. And Aaron Johnson rounded out the top 10.
And Bill, it looks like Aaron Johnson is going to make it. The 2 guys out are going to be Dave Corsall and Ian Martin, not going to continue their championship hopes next week at South Boston. Again, that is unofficially, but we think that's how that's going to end up playing out. Aaron Johnson involved in an incident early, going to make his way back up into the top 10 and sneak his way into South Boston.
Blaze Brinkley doing the donuts. We'll watch him on the front straightaway. Let's go a little bit farther down your running order. Chance Sapp 11th, AJ Rogers 12th. Ryan Dunkelberger finished 13th. Latham Joyner 14th. Rick Rube 15th. Casey Wiggins 16th. Daniel Sweat 17th. Elliot Carlson 18th. Del Mears 19th. And rounding out your top 20, the 5-car, John Piette.
Josh Oswald going to come home 21st, followed by Zach Onan, Noah Allison, Ian Martin, Matt Barkhouse, Peyton Howell, Donald Clark, Lee Norton, Braxton DeWeese, and JP Bergeron, your 30 starters tonight. And Bill, we're going to try to get to talk to some of our drivers, waiting on our winners, our top 3. And looks like we can talk to Grayson Ward, our 2nd place finisher.
Grayson, congratulations, 2nd place tonight. You almost had him. You were there. Did you feel like you had a shot at Blaze, or if you needed more laps? What were you thinking about that race?
Yeah, we just had too many cautions right there. Break it up, and restarts they hurt. They would, them guys they would take the top, and I really needed to be in top right there when I was in 3rd, and I'd get shuffled back, a spot or so, and have to use. That's just a little bit more tire I had to use up, but yeah, Blaze, he ran a good race. He's always pretty tough to beat. But I mean, I found something, just a little bit something right there through the center of the corner. It wasn't much, but it was a little bit. I was starting to get tight. Right front was fading away on me, but and then right during that last lap, I actually found I just tried something different going into one. I went in high and just stabbed the brake, and I got it turned down. I actually got a pretty good run on him, so maybe I was thinking if I did that about 5 laps earlier, I could have got him maybe, but I don't know. It was a pretty good race. Had fun with these boys tonight.
Well, Grayson, now our focus kind of changes from this big speedway to the short track at South Boston. How nervous are you about going to a place like South Boston for the next round of the playoffs where, I mean, anything could happen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more comfortable on a track like South Boston than I am at, Iowa or Richmond or something. These tracks they don't suit me too well. I don't know. I mean, I prefer the real tight bull rings. I like them, but like you said, anything can happen. A lot of chaos tends to break out in them type of races, but whatever happens, happens, and I guess it's meant to be. But hopefully we can start carrying this momentum forward. After that championship.
So let's keep looking forward, Grayson. Let's not count our chickens, but let's keep looking forward. I want to know, you're solidly into the second round. Clearly, you're gonna have an advantage. You get a win this season, so you're gonna get the extra bonus point. Let's say you get through South Boston. How do you feel about North Wilkesboro? What do you think your chances, your real life chances are of winning this championship?
Well, if we make it to Wilkesboro, man, that's my bread and butter right there. I mean, that's probably my favorite track on the sim. Actually, my grandpa won the last race held there in 1996. And that place is pretty special to us and my family. So, obviously, if we make it that far, then, I feel like we got a pretty good shot.
Well, Grayson, we're going to give you a chance to thank everybody you need to thank. We know it takes a lot of people to do this, the sim racing. It takes a lot of time away from the family. Who do you got to thank?
Oh, yeah, just, y'all guys are putting on a good league and good broadcast. It's been a lot of fun. And, everybody at Elite Performance, Ryan Matthews, Tyler Payne. Ward Performance, Hair Images, Showtime Video and Tanning, Jeff Day, Precision Built Spindles, and New Day Motorsports. And, just everybody coming out at night and racing pretty clean. I had a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations, Grayson. We will see you next week at South Boston. A little short track racing action.
All right, sounds good.
Well, our race winner, Blaze Brinkley, going to join us. Blaze, you took the lead there, maybe a little bump and run on Bo Ledbetter. You got out front, and then you just kind of set sail. Were you watching in the mirror there as Grayson was trying to chase you down at the end? Did you think he might get to you and maybe give you the bumper?
Well, me and Bo, we already talked. It was a netcode issue with iRacing, so me and him were all good. It was definitely didn't mean to get into him there, but glad nothing really kind of happened to him, and he still got a good finish. But Grayson, yeah, he's fast everywhere. You always got to worry about him. He usually races me pretty clean. I didn't think he would really hit me or anything. Maybe like try to move me or something, but.
So Jeff, I got to point this out, Blaze. You'll enjoy this as well. 2 weeks in a row picking Blaze Brinkley, and he comes home with wins. What do you think, Jeff? Should I just keep Blaze? Do you think I should just keep picking you through the playoffs? What do you say?
It's working so far.
So far, I think we're doing well. How do you feel? We were talking to Grayson a little bit about looking forward, eyes forward right now. Iowa's done. You're in the second round. How do you feel about South Boston?
Oh, I love South Boston. I actually didn't feel good about tonight, so I don't know. Maybe I won't run good at South Boston now, but I should. So hopefully Sobo goes good for us. I think it will. Iowa isn't really my type of racetrack, but I figured it out in between last night and tonight sometime.
Well, do you want to share with us what you might have figured out now that both nights are over? There's nothing really to gain there. But what did you figure out between Monday night and Tuesday night?
Good luck getting him to answer that one, Jack.
Yeah.
He figured out how to go faster. Is what.
Yeah, just last night I just gave up way too much track position and I couldn't gain it back. It was just way too hard to pass. So tonight I just kind of worked on keeping the tires under it while still keeping good track position, and that way I didn't have to go past 16 cars to try to get back up here.
Well, Blaze, I feel like we talked to you. Well, I mean, we talked to you the last 2 weeks, of course, right? The 2 wins in a row. We did ask Grayson, and I'm going to ask you also. Say, we're looking really far forward. We don't want to count our chickens. I hate doing that. But if you get through South Boston, you make it to the final round. Grayson loves North Wilkesboro. How do you feel about that place?
Um, it's not bad. It's not my favorite racetrack, but it's not my least favorite, so I think we'll be okay there.
Well, Blaze, we want to give you a chance to thank everybody you need to thank, and we know you got a lot of names on your car there. Who do you got to thank for helping you out?
Yeah, Carolina Berkridge, Chatley Boat Marine, Still Pipe Corp, Carolina Family Pool and Patio, JHGD Wraps for keeping these race cars looking sick. Just everyone who helps me out.
Well, congratulations, Blaze. Good to talk to you once again in Victory Lane, 2 weeks in a row. We'll see you again at South Boston, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Well, we're going to get a chance to talk to our third place finisher, Bo Ledbetter. You came out hot tonight. You set fast time. You lit a bunch of laps there, and then just maybe a little bumper kind of got you up the racetrack. You held on to it, but are you a little frustrated by that, or is everything okay on that end?
Yeah, I was frustrated as I was racing, but I went back and looked at it, and it was clear net code. But when that happened, it just killed my tires. I actually thought I was cramming the wall. I don't know how I saved it, but.
Well, we watched it happen, Bo, and it was a fantastic save. And I actually kind of said a little bit later, it looked like you were having trouble getting back to those guys. I thought maybe it did ruin the tires. Iowa, not really. You've won 2 races this season, both at short tracks, tight little bull rings. If you want to call Martinsville a tight little bull ring.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Iowa? Did you think you had a shot at picking up your 3rd win of the season?
Oh yeah, 100%. When I first got into iRacing, I run Arcus the cars a lot, and I ran Iowa a ton. So I've got to know it. I've won races in the B car, the C car, the A car. I've run it a lot. So I mean, I know it pretty well.
Well, Bo, now you're through to the second round. Do you feel like the pressure is off, or does it just amp up now from here on out? Is you got to find 2 more spots next week? 2 more drivers going to be dropped. What's the pressure like going to a place like South Boston?
It's gonna be tough. South Boston, it's like a Martinsville, but even worse. But luckily, it's like a home track for me too, just like Martinsville is. So, and I've raced it a bunch, and I've been there a bunch, and I actually love the place.
Well, Bo, we like to give everybody an opportunity. You're through to the second round, clearly showing a tremendous amount of speed this season. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helps you get to this type of level?
Yeah, I want to shout out to Daniel Pope, Kent Hunley. Man, the setup tonight, I think it was amazing. It's hard to pass at Iowa, of course, but the setup was awesome. Richard Allen, Tanner Tomasi, Kyle Martinson, Emily, her name's on the car, WileyPure.shop, Roost Place Restaurant, SPM, my dad, my mom, Adam Dowdy, Lee Harrison, everybody was watching tonight. I thought it was pretty cool to see everybody cheering for me.
Yeah, Bo, you definitely brought out the fan club tonight.
We love that.
Yeah, it was dominated by people cheering for Bo.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, when I seen all of them coming in here, man, I was like, "Daggone, I gotta win." I tried. I give it all. I give it all I had.
Well, you still got another chance. 2 more races left to go in the season. You're headed to South Boston as one of those 6 playoff contenders. We will see you next week, and we look forward to seeing more of you.
All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Well, Bill, that is going to do it for tonight. Iowa Speedway, again, did not disappoint. It started off a little rough for our Tuesday night drivers, but they quickly got it together, and we got some fantastic racing there at the end.
Yeah, I think once they figured out that top side was actually a place that they could run and make up time, they started to spread out just a little bit and got more racy. We saw some more green flag racing towards the end of that race, but you got to give a shout out to some of the guys that made it in, especially Kelsey Rogers. I really got to – it's tough. You're coming in here as the last guy into the playoffs, didn't qualify very well, and drove his way towards the front, ends up coming home in that 9th position, high enough for him to transfer into the second round of the top 6 in South Boston, and that locks him in the top 6, Jeff. It's not just about, it's going to be about money at the end of the season. So that's a bump up for him, and that's pretty cool. So you got to give credit to the top 6 guys: Blaze Brinkley, Grayson Ward, Bo Ledbetter. Those guys along with Felix Gratton, Kelsey Rogers, and Aaron Johnson all going to go to South Boston and have a shot at this championship. I think it's going to be exciting, Jeff. It's going to be fun. Those 6 guys going to fight it out here the last 2 races.
Yeah, and it feels like we've been on the big tracks for a little bit here. It's really speedway racetracks, and now we're heading back to the short tracks next week. The International Short Track Association 125 from South Boston. We will be live Monday and Tuesday night. You're not going to want to miss any of the action. We just have 2 races to go in the season. Bill, can you believe it? Seems like we've been doing this for months.
It feels like months. Years, I don't know. But it's fun. It's super fun. I mean, it really is. It really is fun to be here on Monday and Tuesday nights and watch these guys race. And the fields are so big. They're so good. I can't get over how good the Tuesday nights. We call it our developmental series. We have to call it something else, right? These guys are unbelievable. We're gonna watch them, at least a group of them, run on Monday nights next season. That's gonna make it even more fun. And then the Tuesday night series gets more competitive. It just keeps going, Jeff.
Yeah, and you're not going to want to miss the action next week, Monday night, Tuesday night, the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series and the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series, 9 p.m. Eastern is when we'll go live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Join us for the International Short Track Association 125s, the second of 3 rounds in our ITZR playoffs. We're about to crown a champion. We're getting so close. And somebody's going to go home with a ton of money, a butt kicker, a Gamer 2 unit, courtesy of Butt Kicker for both series, a championship tumbler for the Tuesday night series. The prizes are going to be unbelievable. You're going to want to follow along. Make sure you're checking us out on Facebook throughout the week, and we will see you Monday night.